Welcome back to Lincoln Park. Last month I covered their stunning macaque forest. So this time around, we'll be heading to the south side of the zoo to something I hope you find a little more special. A 32,000 square foot building that opened in 1977. It features reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates, fish, and birds in the simulated conditions of South America, Africa, Asia, and Australia. The building is divided up into two different sections, the gallery and the ecosystem, each area contrasting each other in attempts at naturalism. So here's a quick breakdown of the attraction. We begin in a climate-controlled space. The first room is occupied with a series of diverse terrariums displaying reptiles and amphibians. The following room presents similar exhibits, except in this case, they display some of the world's most lesser-known and lovable small mammals. Succeeding these begins the ecosystem, a sizable domed atrium that exhibits both reptiles and mammals in a natural-looking rainforest setting, and it comes with a particularly distinct design that I cannot wait to show. So, with that out of the way, welcome to the Small Mammal and Reptile House at the Lincoln Park Zoo. The entrance is located at one of the many viewing points of the Waterfowl Lagoon. Like I implied, the attraction is entirely indoors, like most of the exhibits at this place, making the Lincoln Park Zoo a perfect place to visit in the winter. Also, like I said, upon entry, the first things that you come across are a series of terrariums dedicated to displaying reptiles and amphibians such as On the next wall are larger, more natural tanks with And now over to the small mammal room, which are exhibited in similar exhibits, some of which are nocturnal themed, so due to the lighting, you'd most likely see something like this. Regardless, they all contain Within the same room, the next exhibits stray away from the typical terrarium display. In fact, you could probably call this setup quite unique. This is a curved and elevated display for a large group of Africa's smallest carnivorous mammal, dwarf mongoose. There is a reason for this elevation, because something lives beneath them as if they were actually underground. It's a series of tunnels and dens, which is a telltale sign that you'll find the very attractive naked mole rat. Next to them, continuing the underground theme, is a somewhat hidden tank for the Kenyan sand boa. And completing this setup is a larger, dark cave-like exhibit for Egyptian fruit bats, a species that's actually only 6 inches long, but has a wingspan of 2 feet. And in the darkest corner of the entire building, you'll see an exhibit, but good luck finding its resident MOHOLI bushbaby. And the final mammal of the section is the world's smallest canid species, the FENNEC fox. And the final animal in the gallery isn't actually a mammal or a reptile at all, but rather a giant baboon spider. And now begins part 2, the ecosystem. A tropical environment within a naturally lit dome. In here you can experience the sights, sounds, and smells of those who dwell in here. Your first stop are the always active Asian small-clawed otters. I'd not only like to point out the animals, but rather the interesting design that all of these exhibits offer within the ecosystem. You can see the animals at eye level, underwater, and well above your head, within a canopy that's disguised to spread across the dome as one treetop. Moving on is a similar exhibit containing another aquatic animal, a somewhat newly arrived spectacled caiman, in an exhibit that used to actually contain the primates that you're about to see next. But before them is a similar crocodilian species found in another part of the world, the African dwarf crocodile. Continuing this seemingly themed tropical river is a mixed species habitat with yellow-spotted Amazon river turtles on the bottom and white-faced Saki monkeys that live on top in the canopy. The last river exhibit is also the busiest in the building. It has a hut viewing so you can get even closer to the animals. It contains 3 different types of species. First, a pool for red devil cichlids, cotton-top tamarins, and a Hoffman's two-toed sloth that apparently hasn't moved since my last visit in August of 2013. The last line of exhibits within the ecosystem are open-topped, and the animals are within arm's reach. The first species that you come across are red-footed tortoises. Apparently, the other exhibits are waiting to be filled with newer species. You used to be able to find the since-moved FENNEC foxes that we saw earlier, along with Patagonian cavies. And disappointingly, they were even renovating their interesting leafcutter ant exhibit. But luckily, there still is a surprise hidden within the zoo's back pocket. An animal that apparently drives zoo lovers and speciesless hunters a little crazy. This exhibit actually used to contain wallabies, but now, today you'll find the very rare and critically endangered Puerto Rican Amazon parrot. What's so special about this bird is that the Lincoln Park Zoo is the only place in the world you can see them outside of their native range. And that does it for part 2 of the Lincoln Park Zoo. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and before you go, I'd like to tell you that next week, a new zoo will be added to Zoo Tours. And thanks to those who voted, it's already been decided on what I'll cover. So here's a preview of next week's episode.